Hello there.
The foundation and the bricks. I think when laying a foundation for anything, it's very, very important to know what you want to do and where you're going to take that thing. So, say it's for an album, or an art piece, or a painting, whatever it may be creatively. When you sit down and you try and define this thing and you go, what do I want this to be as the foundation for my bricks? Like, where is this going? So I think with me, and what's helped with me a lot to get to the point where I'm now at 1.5 million streams and I haven't paid for bots and it's all been organic and independent and like the right way of doing it, basically, to get to this point. You just need to have a plan and go in with a plan. So today, basically, my whole thing is I'm going to talk to you about my plan and where I got it from, what I was doing, and how I've got to this point. So basically, at the beginning of VidVid, we will not mention the name like Voldemort, I looked at the landscape of everything and I was like, oh, I need to do something from the house. I'm not just going to stop. So I decided that I saw the landscape of lo-fi and a lot of other things, and I've always made, as you can see, I've got a bunch of stuff around me, but I've always made beats, hip-hop beats, lo-fi beats, like I studied, like, yay, another subject for another day. It's a dark time. And Cole, like Dilla, Madlib, like Tribe, like Rakim, like I studied everyone for like beats and rhymes and everything, and basically that then laid the foundation for me to be able to kind of see this landscape when VidVid did hit, of being able to be like, okay, cool, right, I've got this tool set, how can I use this tool set to benefit me in the long run? So the foundation was I had this album. The album was a good idea at the time, but now it's golden and people are really interested, which is really helpful. But it's that whole thing of manifesting that and making sure that you know within that there's a good idea and that needs to flourish. So I took all of these beats that I had. Some of them were awful, some of them were great, some of them were mid, like take your pick, basically. I then made that into a compilation, a playlist that I could listen to for a couple of weeks, and then I was like, okay, golden, I'm going to turn all of these and these ideas into albums, and then I'm going to put them out as lo-fi albums, gain traction, and once they gain traction, I will start then uploading the raps and all of the actual songs, and they won't be left out to die, in a sense, because it's obviously disheartening when you do put music out, but you have to know that it will come eventually. Like Cole said it, like your fans will find you if you're good enough, but you just need to be good enough. And I think you just have to look at it sometimes and be like, maybe the music wasn't good enough, and that's okay, but just go and put in your hours and get better, because everyone could do it. It's like I was thinking about this morning, if you say went to school for like doctors or lawyers or whatever it was, you probably end up doing about 8 to 10 years in school, basically. So you come out at like 28, 30, and it's quite crazy, because it's like, say it does take from when you leave school at 18 or whenever, like 16, whenever it is, and you then go, all right, I'm gonna do this thing, and it takes 10 years, and then it does happen, and everyone's like, oh my god, but it's like there's no school really for it. Like if you go to music school and stuff, is unfortunately a lot of the time, I know it's not always the case because there are great teachers out there, but 99% of the time they're not teaching from a place of teaching, they're teaching from a place of being a failed musician, and then they're projecting their failures onto people, and that isn't helpful, and it just creates the cycle. So essentially from that and all of that chaos, I made these lo-fi albums, and obviously that has then pushed everything now to be able to put out these raps and do it organically. Granted, I did land on the biggest lo-fi playlist in the world, and that has helped, but if I hadn't released everything else, it wouldn't have helped. Like, I have a back catalogue out, I have bits out, and that has helped. And I can see on the back full, if you go on your Spotify artists and bits, there's a beta page basically where you can go and look and check up all the stats, and that essentially will give you a kind of indicator of how many songs are being listened to. So I can see on my back end, excuse the pun, that 3.1 listeners average listen to my songs. So essentially what that means is that somebody lands on my page, say they get Rocket Ships and Cargo from Lo-Fi Playlist, or I don't know, something, lands on it, go, alright, Gordon, this guy's quite cool, hit something else, alright, I like this too, and I can see they save a song. So that's helpful, and you should take that data and then imply that into other things, and that's the bricks. The bricks is the foundational parts that you then put on top. So i.e. getting all your data, like, it's a gift and a curse that we live in a time where Spotify is so big, but it's also great because obviously you can go in and go, all right, Gordon, like, I have all these followers in this place, maybe I can sell 30 tickets with another artist and then turn that into a fan base. You just have to think about it like a business, and unfortunately it's music and the industry does not care about the music, but we have to find a way of like balancing this act of, not all of us are business people, and that's golden, but I think you just have to think about the fact that sometimes it's not always going to be a case of having everything. Like, a team's good, like I've got a team, I've got people around me, it's helpful, but it's very much like sometimes you just have to drive it and then get people to jump on board, rather than it being a case of like, oh, I've got to do all these things. It's like the right people will find you eventually. You've just got to make sure that you don't put all your eggs into one basket and you keep everything spinning. But that's essentially my ramble for today. I don't want it to be too long, I want it to be quite short. I've got Bear Cave Volume 3 coming out this Friday. Sorry, bear with me. Volume 3, Bear Cave Volume 3 is out. If you want to go and stream that. And yeah, everything else is coming. I will have an update next week with more bits. Stay golden, be magic.
And I'm Wolverine to your X-Men. She my Jean Grey, I don't need them, but they all want what they can't get, and we stay blessed like